What's up, and welcome to the greatest teacher of all time, where I, Quincy Dawson, interview teachers of color to highlight their philosophies, strategies, and personalities. Today, I've got that math kid from Instagram. What's up, math kid Anthony?
What up? What up?
How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
Yeah, man, I'm good. So yeah, in doing these new wave of interviews, I saw you on Instagram as that math kid, right? And something that really got me interested in you and that made me want to interview you is that your bio on Instagram, right? So off top, if you look through like the feed or the grid, it's got like you doing like these math videos and stuff, but your bio actually says expelled from 8th grade and 9th grade dropout.
Correct. Yes,
Right?
sir.
So, yeah, that definitely gets people's attention. So tell me about that. Like, who are you maybe besides the 9th grade dropout?
Well, as far as the bio, I do that on purpose because I come from the hood, the neighborhood, the streets, and I even still tutor the students to this day that we hold title so much. Like, for him to be popping, he has to be the CEO of something, or the manager of this, or he has to be running this. I do that just to show people you don't have to have no title to do something in life. Which it's a true bio, though. By the way, that's my real history, though. So that's the first part. But as far as like expelled from 8th grade, like I said, I come from a bad neighborhood. I mean, I could cry up a whole bunch of excuses, but I try to fit in with the wrong crowd. In 8th grade, did some bad stuff, got expelled, got kicked out of school, went back to the 9th grade, left with 0.5 credits. Horrible beginning of life. I mean, horrible.
Yeah, and that's interesting. It's like it makes you think of like the rappers and stuff, right? Who like, dang, I do this every time. I want to start with like Kanye, right? So Kanye, he like started with like that whole, or actually, no, he actually started like talking about God and stuff with Jesus Walk, but like he kind of had like that rapper persona, right? But once he's able to like do all that, right? He's able to do more that's outside of that, right? Kind of like Jay-Z,
Exactly.
right? He was like, first I had the streets, and I had their heart, something like that, right? So I guess that's what you're trying to do with your 9th grade dropout captivating bio.
Exactly. And it's actually right as of right now, it's helping me a lot because we're seeing a lot of right now, a lot's going on in the economy, and a lot of people are trying to go back to school. But we got to remember that most of the people that are going back to school are from public schools, right? People just regular Joes. And I remember because after I did all the dropout stuff and actually try to go back to school and stuff like that, I hired tutors. They were never like me. I mean, we're talking about Ivy League, master's degrees, and I didn't feel intimidated because I'm never really intimidated. But you always feel that, dang, he got his stuff together. Me, I'm that tutor that's like, dang, like I know kids that know my people, like, dang, like for real, he's doing that now. Like it clicks because they already know I know what they come from because I lived it myself. And half of it's really helped me connect with not just kids, but adults as well. Like, I mean, people that know the streets that we grew up through, they'll even try to test me. Like, some don't believe it. They'll be like, yeah, so and so, whoop de whoop apartment. And I'll be like, yeah, down the street from and they're like, wow, okay, so he does know where we come from.
Yeah, and I don't know about your experience in schools, but like what I've seen is that it helps to have teachers from the community teaching in that same community, right? It gives that more relatability, you know? And I guess that's something you're trying to go for too.
Yes, correct. And like I said, it gives them, for the most part, it gives you a better connection with the student because when you come from these public schools, I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. I would go in there with the attitude of just blaming the teacher because the teacher, in my opinion, I don't know these teachers. They didn't come from where I came from. And if you ever came across an educator that comes from where you come from, you can't really play that same game with them. It's like, well, nah, he ain't gonna let that fly because he knows,
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's a whole nother field, right? so
exactly.
um so maybe with all that in your background, not finishing school and everything, how did you get good at math or like good at school? Do you consider yourself good at school?
No, actually, for the record, I do not consider myself good at math. The only thing I think I'm good at is explaining stuff. That's it.
Okay.
I still got a long way to go. I definitely want to master other things, but I don't know. I had when I was a kid, I thought math was engineering. So I used to tell people I want to be an engineer because I thought it was just solving math problems the whole day. So I didn't really know what it was. And then I just liked math. I was never really good at it. I just liked the way things, almost like a mechanic, like fixing the car. I like breaking that apart, figuring out and how to, just all the basics of it. And I just like putting stuff together.
Yeah, okay. So that's how you got interested in math specifically, or like, why are you that math kid, not like that English kid or that history kid?
Well, yeah, like I said, I just because ever since a kid, I was just that's something that I like doing was math. I mean, the only thing that I remember winning was like multiplication king in the third grade. I never really got any awards or anything like that. It's just something that I like doing.
Oh, that's funny because I was not good at multiplication, but now I teach physics. So like it's weird how that works. But with all that, right? So you're saying that you're not good at math, you don't like math, or you don't like school like that, but you're good at breaking down and explaining things, right? So I actually want to talk about one of your
Yeah,
Instagram videos where you're talking about zero divided by zero and the indeterminate form, right? So I'll put the link, but something I really liked about that is that you're not just saying zero divided by zero is we can't do it. You're actually telling why through like this unique type example with like bootleg knockoff shoes. Can you tell me about that and like where does that come from?
well, okay, so basically because well, long story short, I went back to school and I tried to go to school for engineering. And for, being, minority, let's just say minority, going back to these advanced classes, you're talking about differential equations, physics 2, there's not a lot of colors in there. Let's just be honest. Let's just keep it a book.
I
So
get you.
I felt like, dang, I got to do something so I can go back to the hood and tell them, look what I did. And then I use that when I do bring the education back to the hood. So I always try to teach math like I'm teaching it to somebody down the street that I grew up with. Because first of all, they're gonna come with this attitude like, I don't even want to hear him. He didn't come, he's this, this, this. But when I put it, I want to put it to where something they'll understand. And in that form, I gave a bootleg answer, in my opinion, because I've heard this question on, I believe it's TED Talks or TED, what do they call that? TED Conversations.
Yeah, TED Talk.
He's explaining it, and I'm like, who in the hell is gonna understand this? Like, let's just keep it a book. Like, how am I gonna explain? Nobody's gonna understand it. So I like putting it in ways that somebody can at least start to understand, and then from there grow, and learn the real way to solve it, or the real way it is.
But Anthony, that's the thing. Like so many teachers, and I bet it's even easier for tutors to just give the bootleg answer and tell their students to accept it, right? Like, oh yeah, zero divided by zero, undetermined, undefined. That's it. And it's so easy to take that, accept it, and move on. But like, why do you care to explain what that actually means? Like, where does that come from?
Okay, so because I want to know everything, right? I have a post that says I'm not ambitious. I just want to know how to solve every math problem in the world. Well, when I took trig, I had a very strict teacher. She was from Germany, I believe, and I would piss her off because I would ask her so many questions. But she brought me in her office one day, like during her office hours, and she was like, I hope you don't take the frustration the wrong way. I know you want to learn everything. It's just sometimes I can't answer all because she has to keep moving on. But me, I want to know every little step. I just like learning every little detail. That's the way I kind of explain it. And to any of my students that maybe might watch this, I don't do this to try to belittle you. It's just that's the way I understand stuff better is when somebody breaks it all the way down. Because also, if you look at it, I tell kids, look at calculus textbooks. Get one right now off your shelf. Open it. They'll give you a theorem. They'll give you some kind of stuff that they derived. And then they'll say it like this, that they'll skip a big step and they say, we know that, I don't know, the derivative of this is this, like skipping a whole page of math. Nah, we don't know that. Like, so I take those steps and make sure, they get all the little pieces before we continue.
Yeah, yeah, and you're right. And that just helps with understanding, like all in total too. I like that, Anthony. So the next thing I want to talk about is so you have your own business, right? I want to get to the business part separately, but I want to talk about you in comparison to quote unquote real teachers, right? Who have the credentials, who are actually in the school system. What do you think the difference is that sets you guys apart?
Well, to be honest, they teachers are more presentable. Teachers are more how can I put it? Like I'm so unorthodox. Like it's like I like that it's structured. they have a structured assignment. They know what they're gonna do. I mean, I affiliate with a lot of teachers that are probably going to watch this right now, and I respect what they do on a daily basis, because right now they're faced with a lot of heat right now. You know what's going on with other teachers. So the difference between me and a teacher is, I would say, just the way they're structured. But being a tutor, you can actually connect, whether you're a type of tutor like me or just some kind of high grad tutor. You connect with the student better because it's one-on-one.
Okay, so the one-on-one thing being different.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, and I know you're talking about it earlier about how you're more relatable, right? And do you feel like there's like a special need for tutors like you as opposed to like the MIT grad who's tutoring math?
I definitely think we need to keep the amount of MIT grads that we have, but there's definitely need of more tutors like me, because like I said, when we get to those advanced classes, we're gonna need those, Ivy League grads and stuff like that. But just to get us in the door, I'm not trying to say I'm all high and almighty, but you want somebody like me that can actually relate to these kids. Like, man, I feel what you're going through. I know you're going through this, but don't listen to them when they say math is stupid, stuff like that, because I'm tired of hearing it. I know you hear it. I hate when people say you don't need math in the real world. That's BS. It's the dumbest stuff that I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I teach math and physics. Yeah, it's everywhere, and it's cool that other people see that, and it's cool that you're getting people to see it too.
Exactly. Yes.
Real good, real good. So last thing I want to talk about is your business, right? So is the business called That Math Kid, or?
Yeah, well, because I spoke it over with attorneys. Like I said, thank God we know math, because when it comes to the business world, man, this is a cutthroat world. I promise you, man. I mean, she's sitting up there reading all kinds of stuff, but she basically told me it doesn't matter what the name is. And I was like, let me just keep the name the way it is. I mean, I'm not going to change it. I mean, I know I'm a grown man and stuff, but it's just saying how much I loved math since I was a kid.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, again, relatable. That might be your marketable thing also, right? But like, what does it mean that you're an actual business now? Like, what made you want to get the full on, was an LLC you got, or?
Yes, I got an LLC now. I have crazy dreams. I want to take this thing worldwide. I want to think of, like I said, people that watch this know I be DMing other teachers like, hey, let's think of something that we can do to take. I always say, let's take over the math social media. I want to think of new, innovative ways to get people to learn math. I do this on my Instagram. I'm going to do another one here coming up soon, but I do a $50 cash prize giveaway. I'm just trying to make it more interesting to learn math. And I know with declaring myself as a business, I can possibly get some funding and stuff like that. I just want to push this thing as far as possible. I really do.
Man, I love that, man. These ambitious, no, not ambitious. You just want to do everything, right?
I want to do it all.
Yeah, that's great. I love these dreams, man. And keep on pushing. And this is
Yes,
just
sir.
one step to that.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Great. You doing this business, teaching math in this different way and just relating to students in different ways too. Those are some of the reasons why I think you might be one of the greatest teachers of all time, Anthony.
Man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, for real.
Yeah, it's real. It's real. Thank you to everyone else for watching The Greatest Teacher of All Time, where I, Quincy Dawson, interview teachers of color to highlight their philosophies, strategies, and personalities.